The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Fream, and thank you so much for listening. At Z to Z, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining Gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. If it's about achievements, we'll unlock it. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous shows, on our website, z2z.com. This is episode 119. You can also contact us with questions or comments on Twitter, at Z2Z, Z-E-D-T-O-Z-E-D, over at our forums, forum.z2z.com, or email us directly, contact@z2z.com. So it is the end of March, effectively, and we couldn't let this whole month go by without bringing in a special guest. Of course, I have Proulx with me, not the special guest, but he is special in his own regard. Proulx, how are you doing this week?
Most specialist, I think,
That's
if you
wonderful.
want to refer to me in a certain way, yeah.
Yeah, great. And then we're also joined by the fabulous Chin Docta. How are you doing, Chin?
I'm doing great. I'm recovering from the cyclone well.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, so, we got a limited time with you, so I don't want to waste too much here because I hear your dad is going up for election here. He'll be the Chin Mayor, hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, that'll be great. Good luck on that. We'll have to hear. I'm sure you'll tell us in the Discord chat when you actually get the results. But so let's get the show started with kind of some fun stuff. I want to hear about what you've been up to since last. I'm trying to think, when's the last time we even had a chat?
Week 2 of the UHH, so maybe September.
Oh, that's right, ages ago.
Yeah.
Ages and ages ago, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you been up to this most recent week here? Anything fun?
God, no, nothing at all.
Nothing fun, huh?
Yeah, pretty quiet week, especially with gaming. Yeah, I've done bugger all. I'm just trying to keep myself in G-Task. That's about it.
Sure. Oh, wait, are you doing solo or are you got a partner?
I'm doing both, team and solo. Doing a bit of carry on the team side, though.
Oh, no.
Me too. Kahuna is taking a break from gaming, so I am totally going to be eliminated this week. When this show comes out, I will be within minutes of elimination. It'll be great. But why don't you tell us about some of the games and achievements you've been playing this last week?
Yeah,
you got a win of the week?
Not of the specific week, but I'm happy to mention again the birthday challenge coming first. That was probably my win of the month.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was you did it in like 2 seconds.
Well, yeah, was it? I think it was 22 minutes,
hours,
right? Was that what it was? The time at the end? No, but that was amazing.
2.5 hours or thereabouts. And it started at 2 a.m. So at about 3:30, I was sitting there going, do I want to push this last hour just so I can get this first placing? Is it really worth it? And it was.
It was totally worth it. That's great.
Yeah. Did you know it was coming?
No.
Oh.
No, I didn't. When I registered, I didn't realize it had started. I thought
right that second.
That there was a later start date, but then I saw someone had unlocked something, so I went, well, this is me.
That's funny.
Well, congratulations.
That's funny.
It's wonderful.
Because I knew it was coming, obviously, but I didn't. I knew Rich was going to announce it, but he didn't give us dates. And so then when all of a sudden it was like, you were like, I'm done. I'm like, what? You're done with what? What even happened? I'm so confused here. Awesome. Yeah. So 2.5 hours, you ripped through that. No problem. Proulx, what are you up to? Do you have anything interesting to talk about?
Oh, I have oodles. I actually don't have too terribly long list to talk about. I talked about Lego Pirates last week with you, Fream.
Yeah.
And I got it done.
All finished, huh? Right in time, like just before Sea of Thieves came out.
Sea of Thieves.
We'll talk about it later.
I even forgot to put Sea of Thieves on my list because I didn't get an achievement in it. Okay, I'll push off Sea of Thieves talk.
It's like you didn't play it.
It's almost like I didn't play it, yeah.
There's some conversation to be had there. There's actually a question from, we have a ton of questions from the community, so we'll spin around to that. Okay. That'll probably be our topic after we get through our gaming for the week.
Well, I certainly have plenty to say, and if you don't believe me, you can ask Twitter. But so I finished Lego Pirates, got that done, which means I'm good. I'm good for Lego games for at least a few months until I...
Hey, wait, so that completion then, that locks you in for the Fream Hole completion challenge for the year, because there is a required Lego game, isn't there? Or no, that was last year. That was last year. God, that stumbled me hardcore.
I can't believe you just asked us, Fream.
It's Star Wars. That's Star Wars. That's the one that's going to hang me up this year. Sorry.
There's plenty of easy Star Wars games. Just go play Star Wars Connect, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I just don't really want to.
No,
but yeah, I might have to. We'll see. All right, sorry.
No problem. So I did actually play 2 Pirates games this week, and we'll get into the other one later. So I won't even talk about it. But and then I played another terrible ACA Neo Geo game on Windows 10. I played Last Blade, which is, I think, number 2 of 645 available fighting games on the ACA Neo Geo. I don't think I've ever played a game other than a fighting game in these Neo Geo games. They do have other games, right?
Yep, Last Resort I played. That is not a fighting game, but yes, it's pretty ridiculous.
I got to tell you what.
I'm not a fan. I don't like them.
I've had the Neo Geo games, or because they're terrible.
No, the Neo Geo style fighting games. Like I don't like fighting games in general, and like garbage old arcade games are probably at the top of the list of things I don't care for.
Yeah, and these are garbage old arcade games. And so I've had a weird experience with this, which I brought it up in chat. Nobody seemed to have any response for it, but I loaded up the game and. I've played my fair share of these games at this point, so I kind of know the drill. Of course, every single time I play one of these games, I have some sort of an issue. Every time, like this was supposed to be the second easiest, Neo Geo game. You only have to play it for 30 minutes and you get your 1,000. Of course, it took me an hour and a half. Of course it did, because something happens every time. Whether the achievements are glitched, the emulator isn't working properly, it's always something. So this time, I told you last week, Freem, I got a new computer.
Yeah.
And that must have something to do with it. I don't know. But the game ran at double speed, essentially, from what it's supposed to do. Like, I'm watching these walkthroughs on YouTube of people, just use this move. Right. You can spam this move, and it will work every time. Well, when I'm moving at double speed, the other characters are obviously using their moves way faster than I can use my moves, and it severely handicapped me. It was so annoying, and I found nothing online about it. I was doing all this searching and stuff, whatever. So I trudged through it 3 times longer than apparently I needed to, but I got that done as well. And I hope, because I'm sure that's not going to be the last Neo Geo game I pull up on Windows 10 for, easy points. I hope I don't run into that again. Maybe it was just a glitch with that game. I don't know, but. Ugh, God, it was really tough.
At what point is it not the game's fault, and does it start being you?
I don't think there is a point. No. You know what?
You've got a bad history. I think you should just stop playing.
I think you're right, but it's so hard when it's like, here's an easy 30-minute 1,000, and you're like, if everybody's having an easy, you're right. Maybe it's my fault, Chin. But I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I
like it when like those games are all too like. You can easily cheese using this move, and it's like it never works. Like, the enemy can never get a hit in, and you're like, I'm getting wasted. Like how?
Yep.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Anyways, garbage games. So I moved on. I got that done. I moved on to it again. My this recent sort of pattern I have going with old 360 games. I moved on to Open Season. Okay. Started and completed that.
So good.
Oh, it was amazing. Actually, you know what? It was terrible, but shouldn't surprise anyone. But Proulx got more excited. He sees all the games I play, and he likes to make fun of me because he doesn't understand achievements. But when he saw that I was playing Open Season, he's like, this was one of my favorite movies when I was a teenager. I loved this movie. He got so excited about it. It was actually almost worth it for that. But no, it really wasn't worth it. It was dumb. And then so my new 360 old game that I'm working on, I just started it tonight, was Wanted Weapons of Fate.
Sure.
Oh, that's good.
which I'm about the first level in, so I don't have much of an opinion on it so far. Other than you can,
Oh, you will.
other than you can tell it's an early 360 game, so it's okay. It's okay so far. It's okay. I can handle it. The only other game I've played.
You know,
go ahead.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
keep
Go ahead.
well, I was going to say, we actually had a question. This is a good place for this question from, or this comment actually, from Facial LaFleur. He said, this has probably been going on for a while, but I'm starting to think we are finally reaching the end of an era with the old platforms, and we should focus on finishing up what we want to play on the 360 and Windows Phone. There have been too many games getting closed and removed from stores recently. It is very concerning. I mean, you wholeheartedly are on board with that comment.
It's true.
And I've been kind of seeing the tea leaves too. Like, I mean, Happy Wars getting disconnected. The store front on the 360 has always been dreadful. Like split second as games with gold, like not being available right away. And I mean, there's just these constant nagging issues where they're, Microsoft's at some point just going to say, listen, this is really holding us back here. We're just going to have to cut bait and figure out a way to work around it. Or, what I don't know what their plan is end up going to be for severing those connections, but I'm on board with this about finishing up 360, especially if there's a multiplayer component or an online component, because they're short-lived in this world.
Yeah, they really are, and I actually focus more on them now. I do actually play a lot of Windows Phone stuff as well. I don't talk about it very often just because it's super not interesting to talk about. It's like, yeah, I tapped my phone a few times and then, so it gets old real quick. But I do I kind of have a sense of foreboding for the Windows Phone platform. So I am rushing through them as quickly as is possible. And the same with this old 360 stuff. I spend more time on my 360 than I do on my one, just because I'm like, it's been backlogged long enough. Let's just get it done so I never ever have to worry about any sort of issues with it. So
right. All right, so you can finish up what you've been.
Yes, one more game other than Sea of Thieves, which we're holding to later. I bought Marvel Puzzle Quest. I've got to tell you, this flew completely under my radar. Somebody in advertising was not doing their job, because I love Marvel things and I love Puzzle Quest, and I had no idea this game existed.
This game was like 4 years old.
Yeah,
it's been on the mobile for a while.
I had no idea. And there's actually two. There's one on the 360 and there's one on the one. And I think it was.
Well, they're not connected. I didn't realize.
No, well, they're the same game, but
I know they're the same game.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they would be linked.
I don't believe they are in any sort of way. It doesn't seem like it would have that sort of feature. Yeah, I think it was. Sure. I think I was talking to Michelle in chat. Honestly, I think that's who it was that brought it up and said, "Hey, why don't you play that game?" And I'm like, "What?" So that was interesting. You don't get that sort of experience when you're like, this is a game I would definitely love to play, but you have no idea that it even already exists.
Sure.
However, I downloaded it and started playing it, and I remembered some of my frustrations with the Puzzle Quest games. I do love them, but they have their issues. I think rubber banding AI is one of them, and the obscene length of them. So there are, I think, 10 or 12 achievements for it.
Yeah.
And I have one, which is beating the tutorial. And I'm about...
Why? All right. At least you got that done.
I'm about 4 hours in there, I'd say. And then there's one for beating chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, whatever. I'm pretty sure there's like 50 to 75 levels in each chapter.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
And that's if you can win the first try through. I'm pretty sure this game is sort of designed for you to have to grind so that you can level up. The level cap's 300. So, I can...
Well, not even that so much, isn't there? Aren't there microtransactions?
No. As far as I can tell, I didn't see a store of any. I mean, there's obviously a character selection screen, which is mostly grayed out for me. But I didn't see any way to actually buy.
Oh, interesting, because I played the mobile version and it was full of them.
Oh, I can imagine that. But the Xbox One version was $15. So I imagine they probably removed all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, maybe
not. I'm not sure. I can't imagine that. Wow, man, that you would want to spend that much money on that game. But that's how card games go, I suppose. But it is what it is. I'm kind of excited to play it. It's going to be like my background game, like in between game.
Yeah.
Just get a couple of rounds in from now. It's not anything I'm going to rush to finish or anything. Just over time. but it was kind of cool to find out that it existed, and I'm half excited, half a little nervous to jump into it.
Sure. Totally get that. It's funny that because like you mentioned a couple things there that are very akin to what I've been working on as well. So my game that I've been working on is Fallout Shelter.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I have access to it on my laptop, I have been doing that at work more than working. It's not good. But man, yeah. So I ended up getting 13 achievements in that, just starting the process. And it's one of those kind of things. You pull up 5 minutes, you send some dudes out, you collect some resources, build some things, set your thing, and then come back in an hour or two.
Is this your first experience with Fallout Shelter?
No, I did it on the phone. I maxed out. Well, so I played on the phone when it first came out, like that summer, when they announced it at E3. Mm-hmm. I played it that whole summer. I got my Nuka-Cola factory, so 100 dwellers, but in that point, I was like, okay, I'm done. I finished it. And then they added a bunch of stuff to the game, and I never went back on my phone to experience all that new stuff. So like the questing in this now is all new to me, which I love. It's super fun. Like that's probably my favorite part of the game right now. And now I'm like thinking, okay, well, I should probably get a little meta game with how to build my vault so it's more effective, and just try and eyeball how to get these achievements, because it's it's gonna be a bit of a grinder in the long run. But so that's my long-term game. And then one of the other, so your comment about taking forever to get one achievement. So this was on Tuesday night, and I'm still working on the birthday challenge. I'm on the U. I was looking for the T, and so I was, I could easily find something anywhere, and so I wanted to coincide it with the Gamertag challenge for Rocker Dude 5012, and I was missing a U for the dude. U's are kind of hard to come by, so I was like, oh, you know what? If I find a game, a U game that has a relatively easy T, that'll be great. I'll just do that. So I found Unepic. Are you familiar with the game Unepic?
Not played it.
Yeah, I've had it on an RTDL list before. Yeah,
so it is a side scroller RPG, platforming RPG, and the setting is that you're a guy who is at his buddy's house playing D&D. Only you're like the cool kid, so you're like only half into D&D with these nerds, but like you're also, you like it, so you're well versed, but not super well versed. Anyway, so you go to the bathroom, and when you're in the bathroom, all of a sudden you're transported to this castle, and you're in the D&D world, and you're like, what the, huh? And you meet up with this nefarious cloaked figure who possesses your body. Only after he possesses you, realizes he can't control you. And so he's trapped, and he's trying to essentially get you to die so he can control your body. So he's giving you like super great advice while you play through this dungeon. And like it's super funny. They do a great job with like jokes on, it's like a tongue-in-cheek, self-aware role-playing game where you're, this kid who has no business being in a dungeon, but now he's found a sword and he has to figure out what he's doing here. And so he's kind of gaming the system to like find a way to get answers. So, for instance, at the beginning, you meet up with like this giant cube, this prison that's holding this dark evil force. And you're like to your shadow guy inside, you say, hey, I figure since you're going to be hanging around for a while, we should probably give you a name. He's like, I am too good for names. You cannot possibly, and you can't give me a name. I am known as just the evil one or something, whatever. And he's like, no, you know what? I think one of my favorite characters growing up was Zera. So I'm going to call you Zera. Do not call me Zera. No, I'm going to call you that. That'll be great. He's like, do not. Well, go talk to this guy, and he'll destroy you on sight. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I'll just try my luck. And so you go talk to this evil jail figure, and you change your voice, and you're like, "Oh, great, mighty Lord of Huracan, I am trapped inside this meat vessel. Would you please, I'm using this as an avatar to further the wishes of the Lord of this castle." And he's like, "Oh, great. So I'm going to heal you and save your game then to make sure that you are fit for this quest." And then, the demon inside you is like, "Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?" So it's just kind of these fun little side things. But that game, not only is it harder than I thought it was going to be, it takes forever to get an achievement because there's no like checkpointing or anything. Like you have to just explore this castle, wandering around, lighting things up. And so like I had no idea where I had to go. And so I ended up finding this trap room that I needed to get through to get this key. And oh man, I died a whole bunch of times. That was no good. But I finally, so that was the night where I had to go to the gym at 5 a.m. And so I was like, okay, look, I'm just going to play for an hour. It'll be great. I'll just get my one achievement. We'll move the counter so then I can get my R achievement later. And I ended up playing for 2.5 hours before I got my first achievement when it's like a 1.01 ratio because it's, story based. It's right away in the beginning. Yeah. But that game's fun. It's one of those where like I feel like I need to stick to it because I'm going to forget all the intricacies of like this deep RPG lore. And like, it's got all these hotkeys and menus and, it's very menu heavy in terms of its RPG elements, but like it's still relatively simple. So anyway, Unepic, that's the name of that one. I've also been playing some Happy Wars. On the Xbox One version, I got 2 achievements in Happy Wars for just really managing my inventory, selling a bunch of stuff, leveling some things up. I'm so glad I played a ton of it on the 360 so that all my money carries over. That is making my life super, super nice because I have a ton of happy tickets. I don't have to put any money into it, but now it's like trying to figure out how to work the system because it very much is geared to ensuring that you want to put money into the system. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get these achievements without having to do that. And then, I did end up getting those 3 random to-do list achievements in Don't Knock Twice. That game it was a VR title but it was ported to the Xbox. And so on the controller, like, again, took me an hour. I followed a walkthrough. I don't like scary games. When you're using a controller, it's not scary. And when you're watching it on a video and then just doing what the video is, it's like the 4 or 5 jump scares I could see like would have scared me if I didn't already see them on this video. If I was playing this in VR, I would be soiling myself. Like it would just that immersive experience of being in this room with all these doors closing behind you, and if you got headphones on and really get into it, like I bet it would be scary in that sort of environment. Not for going for achievements. So 28 achievements, 1 hour. Now, one of them glitched on me, so it shows up that I completed the game 2 days later. And it was like, it popped online, but it didn't connect. It didn't sync up with Xbox for some reason. So again, had to go visit the achievements page and figure that bad boy out. Last few things we did, save the Ninja Clan. Well, that had a Y achievement in there for me, just to lead into the letter T, finish out the word birthday. And it was just finding a secret. I was going to do it real quick. And so that game is through ReviewZed. And so, ReviewZed came over to hang out with me. And so we played together. It was great.
That's sweet. You guys have a good time?
Yeah. Well, so ReviewZed said, here, you take over and play the game. So I was using my save game. But of course, ReviewZed was signed in to my account.
It was really nice
we were
of
playing
them.
together. Yeah, we were playing together. And playing on my account, I did the secret. The achievement pops for him.
Oh, no.
I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, no.
How does that work? Like, it's my saved game. That doesn't make any sense. So I did it again. I tried to, say, all right, well, you log out. Let me try this. Let's see what happens. Well, no, I need you logged in because you got the game. So how is this going to work? So I just ended up buying the game. It was like $3. I'm like, this is like the easiest way. I've already have it on my tag. This is dumb. So I ended up buying it myself and going and doing that.
For achievements,
super
Fream.
frustrating.
That's slippery slope.
I know, right? I know it's obnoxious, but anyway, there's that. Last 2 things, 3 things. One of them is Microsoft Solitaire. Hey, I've got access to a computer now. So I'm on my way. I'm in the Star Club, baby.
Oh, that's right. That's well, I heard it was coming soon. Coming soon,
isn't it?
To the phone. So you don't even need a computer for that, Fream.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to try to get a jump on it because there's a lot of star challenges. So I figure I'll just work on it now.
Which ones are you doing?
So I got the one for. Well, I was focusing on Free Cell because that's like my favorite. Like I have the most fun doing that one, but I didn't realize you have to earn stars to unlock the other. Yeah. Like the higher levels, so it's like, oh crap, I got to do everything then. Just to keep.
If I don't know if you looked at the solution on TA.
It says Tri Peaks, right? Or no, pyramid.
No, there's actually something called.
It's like a challenge
easy, super
set.
easy, whatever. Yeah, it's definitely the way to go.
So what is that? Is it like just a series of? Because I saw that and I didn't understand
5-game set.
What?
And once you've done them all. Yeah, that's it.
That counts as a collection.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But they're like they're supposedly super hard, I think, but there's video recording, so you just follow along.
Right. Yeah. Was probably going to be my approach once I got sick of doing it for legit. And I just, get all the easy ones out of the way and then say, okay, I should probably just look up the solution to these. I actually had to look up the solution on an easy one because I was like, oh man, why am I not figuring this thing out? This is super frustrating. But anyway, so working on my Star Club. Plants vs. Zombies on the Xbox One. If you're interested in playing, the Discord community plays Thursday nights. We were doing some garden ops. I got my first Treasure Yeti. Finally showed up, man. I am so sick of not seeing those things. It is super frustrating. But I got my first one, and I killed it. Right. So I got the achievement for that. Spit out 3 diamonds for me, which was great. So I'm excited to at least get on the board. And my win of the week, Manuel Samuel. I did my co-op run last Sunday. The third Sunday of the week. My co-op run took me 90 minutes. Did the speed run. 90 minutes to do it. And here's the kicker, the bonus part. The 2 hashtags I was missing at the end of the game there. I was like, I better make sure. I'm going to make sure to get them here just so I know how they unlock. So if I go back, they count for both games. So that's a new saved game.
Oh, wow.
I got those 2 and bam, the achievement unlocked. So it's the unique hashtag you need. It can be across multiple saves.
So what are you missing now?
Nothing. I got the achievement.
Oh, wait, you did the
time trials.
You did the speed runs while you were doing the co-op thing?
No, he just meant he did.
Yeah, I just did it quick. It took me 90 minutes to beat the whole game with 2 controllers.
Right. So you still do have some achievements left.
I have. So this Sunday, which is after this records, the last community recording for that you guys can see on YouTube here will be my speed runs. I have the 3 speed runs, the bronze, silver, and gold. And if I get those, I get the final "you unlocked them all" achievement. So we're hoping. Got one last shot here this upcoming Sunday. I'm a little nervous, not going to lie to you.
Should we?
If you manage them, you probably stay in G-Task.
Oh, that's true. That's
yeah,
a good point.
It absolutely is. So with that, perfect lead-in to what we should be talking about because Manuel Samuel is totally your fault, Chin Docta.
It's a blessing, you mean?
You're
welcome.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a totally fine experience. I've enjoyed it. It's certainly I'm done with it. I don't need to be playing it anymore. I want the completion. I really do. But when this month is over, like we said last show, if it's not completed, it's gonna be really hard for me to go back to it. But what made you pick this game?
All right. I love easy games to start with, and they're hard to master. I love that stuff. Also, the story is basically non-existent, so that's a plus for me too.
Right.
Because everyone knows I hate story and I skip everything. So it was very painful getting that watch all the cutscenes achievement as well for me.
Right.
Have it.
You didn't find the Grim Reaper a compelling character that you wanted to listen to the whole time, and his plight, you didn't think that was interesting? No, of course not. Yeah.
No.
To be honest, though, it's super funny, that they have. You essentially do want to do 2 playthroughs because the comments in the story are fine, right? They're funny. They have their own bits. And then skipping them and the narrator has his other jokes. Like, those are hilarious.
I think the narrator works a lot better for me than almost any other character in the game. And unfortunately, you listen to him more frequently than anybody else. Like, the death guy the Grim Reaper was just too over the top for me.
So annoying.
So it wasn't that funny. It was just silly.
Yeah.
Well, especially when like you were stuck on a part and he kept repeating, he got in that loop. He's like, I'm totally gonna nail this kickflip. It's like, gosh, shut up.
Kickflip. Stupid kickflips. And what's the other word that they're obsessed with in that game? Oh God.
Feces.
Yes, feces, thank you. Yes. Oh my God. It's like, okay, we get it. We get the joke. But anyway, sorry.
No,
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Chin.
I like that you can get into the zone and it will just kick you out. Like, the controls are simple. You know how to walk, you know how to do all the stuff. And then it'll just throw something at you and all those controls just disappear from your mind. The second something goes wrong, you go, okay, I have forgotten how to breathe, how to do everything. I need to relearn it all. I also wanted to get everyone really frustrated. That was a big part of it. Was I knew people would get frustrated, and I enjoy, if everyone is suffering, it makes me feel a little better about my suffering with the game.
Right.
But yeah, no.
So how far are you in it? How far are you in it, Chin?
I'd have to check. I know I've done a solo run. I think I'm halfway through a co-op run where I'm finishing off the hashtags as well. And I have preloaded the time trial achievements. So I've just got one left.
Okay. But for the future, Fream, I think we should make it a prerequisite for anybody that suggests a Game of the Month game that they have to have it completed. Because you can't just inflict this pain on us.
Yeah, no. Because if they want to, actually, I got an email from Rippin, who he didn't get my messages from before when he had the opportunity to come up with a game, and he's like, "Hey, I totally want to play State of Decay for the month of June." I'm like, "Oh, that's me too. Me too. This will be great. I'm putting it on the list then." For us to vote on. That'll at least be one of them. We still need to get other entries, and that's still months away. So don't be, or May, June. So we still have to figure out May yet. But anyway, sorry, I digress.
But I'll work on that completion tomorrow.
Okay.
Except for the time trials.
Well, I mean, you don't have to, right? If you're preloading it.
Get the time trials on an alt account. How's that sound?
Okay, we want to know what it is. Is it going to be like there? Oh, okay.
Perfect. Most of the community knows my alt.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So did, we kind of talked about it a little bit last week. Do you have a favorite part, a favorite moment, anything that stood out to you for from this game?
I liked the speaking. I like that it would kind of still throw you around, even though you stuff up the words. Driving was my favorite bit. You guys hated it. I loved the driving bit.
Oh, was it really? Oh,
Yeah.
it's the worst.
No way.
Driving was the worst. And Neil,
it's all fairly.
Do you?
Makes sense to me every step, and you can't break your spine. Breaking spine doesn't affect it, so it's all just pattern remembering at that point.
Yeah.
Can you also breathe and blink while you drive your car, Chin?
Physically, yeah. I don't.
Okay.
Sometimes,
I want to make sure.
If my girlfriend's in the car, I'll get her to push my chest so I can keep breathing because getting that gear stick.
Actually. Okay, maybe you guys can explain this to me because I still don't quite understand the breathing mechanic. I know that if I'm starting to turn blue, I need to inhale a bunch, but exhaling seems almost useless. Like, I always did it just like a quick, so I'd hold X until I had lots and lots of air, and then I would quickly press B just to let a little bit out. I don't even know if that's necessary. It never seemed to be, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I didn't understand that part of the mechanic.
As far as I can remember, all I would ever do is hold my breath. So you'd hold it, you turn red, you exhale, inhale again, let a little bit out, and just hold it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the clearest mechanic for me.
I mean, ultimately, you do have to, you have to breathe out to get more air in. Like, you just holding your breath enough isn't going to provide you enough oxygen. Like, you have to breathe a few times. So that's why that doesn't, because you can notice in the color of your face that just breathing in and holding it you're not passing enough air through.
Yeah, it was never anything that really, I didn't pass out all the time or anything like that. I just always kept pressing the buttons until I turned to normal color, and I was like, okay, I'm good for a little while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, and I agree with Freem. It's just like, if this game was one playthrough and maybe some cleanup, I think it would serve it a little bit better. Having to go back through twice is daunting.
Probably be more fun playing the co-op with someone as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it actually being fun.
I was just listening to how M and L went at it, where one person did left side, one person did right side. Like, by far the most difficult setup you could ever do. Like, that sounds like you would be near murdering somebody to try and coordinate that. Like that, I mean, that's a 3-legged race right there. Like, that is insanity. Doing the cheat with just the second controller spine action, that's not a big deal at all. So, I have no idea. The code. We have a code we want to give away. So what I'm thinking is, because it's just easiest for us to do. So any of you who listen to all of our conversations over the month of Manual Samuel, or watched, the YouTube videos, or participated, this episode, when this goes out, so episode 119, I think we'll just do Twitter giveaway. So if you retweet our the episode launch game, whatever, what do we call that? Our broadcast tweet, saying that the episode is now available, and put the hashtag Manual Samuel in there. Yeah, I'm totally doing that. Yeah, and then we'll pick a name out of that, and you guys can get it. So I know most of us already got the game, but you can have it as a backup copy. You can give it to a friend. You can watch somebody else suffer through the misery that we did, or you can use the left side of their Manual Samuel. Anyway, do you?
That sounded like a euphemism.
That did not sound great.
I'm not sure what that was supposed to be, but
what is there? What follow-up games have? Are these? So, have you played QWOP before?
Yeah,
Chin Docta?
a while ago, but
on the computer.
Yeah, they had a lot of sequels.
It's different, but it's So what other games have?
I mean, it's I Am Bread too, right? That's the same idea, right?
Yeah,
if I understand it correctly.
Yeah, same basic. Just you control each corner of the bread, and you have to spin and rotate and get into the toaster or whatever. Get toasty.
Is it as annoying as this?
The speedrun challenges are more difficult than that one.
I mean, Perfectly Paranormal doesn't have, they don't have anything else they developed. Of course, Curve Digital, who published it, has a crap ton of games. I think, do they have I Am Bread? No, I don't see it in here. But yeah, so I don't see any other. I wonder what they're working on right now.
It's an interesting sort of subgenre, of games where you have to do all this stuff manually. And I don't know. I would tend to be more towards the side of the casual side of that genre, because it's just,
it's super clever,
and it's fun, and it works really well. But it can also be, obviously, you hit that wall real quick, and then you lose a lot of motivation to keep playing it. So,
holy crap! Holy feces! These are some big gamer scores.
What are you looking at?
Goodness gracious! So the time trial ones, right? So how much gamer score do I have? 250 gamer score left, and all 1300 TA.
That'll keep you in.
So low. I mean, they're all 5.0 ratios. Yeah, nice. Good luck on that one. I'm going to need all those points.
Everybody watch the stream.
Fantastic. Oh man. Okay, great. So let's do that. We'll move into our news action here. We got some other news things that we should talk about. Did you have anything, Chin Doc? Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about with Manual Samuel? Any other comments?
I really hope someone enjoyed it. At least one person.
Yeah, like we said, we kind of enjoyed
I didn't hate it.
It was
I would have had, if it was just the one playthrough and that was it, I would have said, hey, that was fun. Yeah. It's just going back to it.
It does overstay a bit, especially when you do it by yourself.
Yep.
How many times did the time trials take you to like set up? Are they pretty quick?
So
relatively
I've got the
painless.
driving one left, which I think is the second one. So they're not too long. That
Because what there's 6.
yeah, I think
How many
6
times?
or 5, maybe more.
Okay.
No, I can't even remember.
Well, there's 8 levels,
1, 2,
but like
3, 4.
it's like the mini games, right?
Yeah, there's 6 time trials.
It's like getting out of the house, driving the car, the robots,
Going to
doing your
building
the
robots, and then
robots,
attacking the robots,
destroying the
and then the
robots,
boss.
and fighting the end. So that's 5. Am I missing one?
Getting out of your house, driving, getting to work, doing your work, the robots, and the boss.
Okay.
So that's all 6.
The boss.
They weren't so long that you were like, you make one mistake and there's 15 minutes wasted. It's like, what was that last week? Refunct, you said, where you just get a little bit closer each time, and you're like, yeah, this time I'm going to do it, and then your spine breaks, and you're like, not this time, next time.
Yeah. God, I did that trying in my co-op stream, I think, of where I was going up the stairs at the end of the game. And I was like, all right, here we go. Stairs, 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 stairs. We're cruising. Collapse. Like a top step collapse. Oh, man. All right, fine. Whatever. Here we go. Climbing up the stairs. Collapse. Like, and it was the back every time. And I was like, the timing. Like, why are you such a jerk to me? But that's the nature of the game. Anyway. All right. Let's move on. Hey, we've talked about this before, but it's kind of a non-story because I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I like talking about it because I actually put some work into this. I want this to happen. It won't, but I want it to happen. But some kid, I'm going to say kid because it sounds like a kid, went and talked to Phil Spencer at, where were they? They were was it at GDC maybe? Anyway, he said, hey, what would you think about if you put, I don't know, Banjo in the next Super Smash Brothers as like a DLC character? And Phil Spencer said, well, I think it would be cool if Banjo is in the next Smash Brothers DLC. We've worked with Nintendo on rare IP before. There's no issues there. So what do you guys think in terms of cameo? Would Banjo be I think Banjo would be a good one for Brawlout. He's very much along those animal styles, but I think there's actually a character I think the Walrus character has a bird on his shoulder. But anyway, Banjo in Smash Brothers. A, would it be cool? And B, let's come up with a moveset for Banjo.
So, Fream, just so you're aware, I don't think you are, but I was that little kid that talked to Phil Spencer because of how much I want this to happen.
This was you, huh? They didn't say Proulx.
So believe it or not, I've talked about Banjo here on the show before, and I've also talked about Smash Brothers. I'm a massive fan of both, and so Banjo is by far the biggest character that was ever requested in Smash, I think, behind Sonic until he was put in. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Wow. I didn't realize that.
There was, I think during Brawl's initial stages, they had a sort of suggestion stage where what do the fans want to see? And of course, we got all these characters now, especially we have Bayonetta, we have Final Fantasy characters, and Street Fighter characters. Banjo still consistently tops the fan lists of characters that non-Nintendo IP characters at this point that people want to see. So this would be amazing, of course, because it would be Rare and Nintendo coming back together again. So yes, of course, Banjo and Smash.
So I never played a ton of Banjo-Kazooie, so like I'm trying to think of what the moveset would be. Right, I'm thinking like, would he have like a float jump like Kirby, where Kazooie actually can kind of float him, like he hovers a little bit?
Egg shooting or something.
That would be their ranged attack for sure. There's actually also, it's been suggested for anybody that's played the newest Smash Brothers that not Donkey Kong. Oh God! The shoot the ducks in the air game. Duck Hunt. Thank you. The Duck Hunt character, which is a dog with a duck on top of it. plays similarly. A lot of the animations kind of close to, and would play how Banjo would play if Banjo was actually in the game.
You think so? I don't know. That duck hunt dog seems kind of a jerk. I don't feel like Banjo would be as nasty as that dude. But anyway, I should bring up so I did this big old list of all of Microsoft's IPs and like what should be put in there. Like you could have like an Age of Empires guy, right? Some sort of kingly character, or have Xbox avatars. Any of the Battletoads. There's Rare for you.
Cameo.
Do you think you're gonna get Battletoads before Banjo-Kazooie?
No way. No way. I think the closest thing that you would have, would be Minecraft Steve at this point. Would be the next closest Microsoft IP that you would get.
That's yes, I totally can see that being the case.
That's also where they've collaborated before. Obviously, Microsoft doesn't discriminate with Minecraft. But like they've said, they've worked with Rare in the past with a lot of stuff as well. So you could even do a little deal. You could even do a little deal there where, hey, you could put Minecraft in there as long as we can put Banjo in there too. That sort of thing. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun. Is Ori in Rivals of Aether? Did that crossover actually happen? I want to say it did. But I can't.
I think there might be something similar, like a similar design, but I don't know. I feel like I would have heard about that. I love the game so much.
Rivals of Aether does have some, because there was an interview with a bunch of these game developers that kind of do these types of Smash Brother clones, for lack of a better term, and. So the Rivals of Aether guy, because they were talking about Brawlout. Brawlout has the Hyperlight Drifter ninja and Juan from Guacamelee in their game, and so those are their crossover characters. I'm trying to find.
Apparently it is Ori Insane Sign, the little light ball.
Yeah. Okay.
It was.
Because if you watch the video, like if you see Rivals of Aether, like it is that small, little small character. I mean, it almost looks like Ori would be in there, and just with how it plays.
Wait, this is a Smash clone?
Yeah.
And is it on Xbox?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Game preview, I think, at the moment.
So no achievements.
I think it's still. No, it's got achievements.
No,
it does.
It's got achievements.
I think it's just their excuse so they can update it more.
I would love to play some Smash clones with achievements.
DOC character, August 23rd last year, they added it.
Oh, it was last year. Okay. I'm going to watch the video here really quick. But yeah, so you've never seen Rivals of Aether?
No.
Oh.
You would like it.
I thought we
talked about Brawlout last year, and still waiting for the Xbox version of that. I don't think it's out.
It's coming. I've talked to the devs about it, because my son plays a lot of it on his Switch.
Oh, it's already out on Switch, huh?
Interesting. Oh yeah, and I've played it on Switch too. It's much more difficult than than Smash Brothers, because you don't get your shield, so you have to rely on just your movement and stuff. But yeah, so man, Ori's kicking butt in this this video.
I'm gonna
right
have to
here.
check this out.
They do. It looks like Ori's up B move is her dash attack. Where like you use the enemies to warp through them.
Bash.
That's right. And like you can knock back with them. Oh, that's clever. God, Ori's such a cool character. I can't wait for Will of the Wisps. That game's gonna be sweet.
Never played him.
So yeah, okay. Let's we'll move on from Smash clones, especially since that doesn't exist right now. Vivendi. Did you guys hear the news?
Should we save this
Ubisoft,
for next week, Fream?
We can. What for? Randy?
How happy must he be?
It's just so darn exciting.
At this point. Don't look directly at Randy right now.
Yeah, he's too. Actually, there's a question about that which we can answer on Randy's behalf, because it's something we would apply to him. But so Vivendi has given up They've sold their shares in their takeover bid. They're saying that they're out. They're done. They sold everything off to Tencent and some Ontario. They've essentially dispersed their holdings for Ubisoft. They were up like 27% at the time, and they said, "No, fine, we're out. We're done. You don't have to worry about it." I guess something tells me this is in the works longer, but Ubisoft went ahead and excitedly opened up 2 new studios, one in Mumbai and one in Odessa. So you got one in India and then in Eastern Europe, just for fun, because they need more. They need about 1 billion people working for them. I wonder, is it and maybe this would be better service from Randy's perspective about why they would not, back out of it? Is it getting too expensive? Is it that someone made a better offer? Is, what's Vivendi? I mean, because Ubisoft had a pretty darn good year last year, with Rainbow Six Siege continuing to sell well. Wildlands sold really well, at least initially. Kind of came out when there's no other games, and I believe, they've been updating that one pretty well. Division's still a big hit. Assassin's Creed Origins was a monster hit for them. So they had a nice year there.
That might be why.
And it could be. And then, they're just, this is getting too pricey. And, actually with Far Cry 5 here right around the corner, I've started seeing some videos out about gameplay. I just saw a video where you can beat that game in 10 minutes. Very similar to Far Cry 3. So if you remember Far Cry 3, there is a way to finish the game if you just sit there and do nothing. I assume that's what this is. I guess I don't know exactly, but there's another one of those, like, if you do something that you're not supposed to, you can finish the game in 10 minutes. Probably an achievement for that. Anyway, so Vendi's out. So no more talking about him, right? Are they going to find anyone else they want to buy up? What do you think if Microsoft bought Ubisoft? Think they could? They got that $200 billion just sitting around doing nothing.
They don't need more empty space with you.
Microsoft doesn't need to do anything with Ubisoft.
All that empty space that Ubisoft has.
Maybe the excitement of The Division 2 was too much for them. Last thing I want to talk about here specifically is, before all the fun discussion of Sea of Thieves, is A Way Out. A Way Out was also released this last week, and there's a couple of things. So first of all, there is a free trial out there, so you can try the game. Maca has confirmed that you cannot earn achievements in the free trial. They're totally disabled. You have to own the game to unlock achievements. So there's that. Secondarily, you only need 1 copy of the game to play co-op, even online. So, like, you can invite a friend into your game. So if you own it, you can invite a friend into the game and play co-op. And what?
I thought it was that you bought it and you could send
2
a
copies
trial
or 2
copy.
licenses.
Yeah, not 2 licenses, but you send a trial copy to the person you want to play with.
Oh, do they not get achievements then?
That's what I thought it meant when Maca said that they don't work in the free trial. Because
I thought that was the demo.
I can find out what it's called, but I think they label it specifically like a companion trial or something.
Interesting.
Oh, lame.
Just give me a sec, yeah.
So if you can find a sucker for a friend, then actually, you know what? Proulx might might be that person. I could
someone who wants to play for fun. So the game, relatively short. They're saying 8 to 10 hours ish, depending on how much you're doing, how much you work together. But they're saying you absolutely need to play together.
Yeah, co-op only.
It is impossible to because can you do 2 controllers? Or you literally, because it literally requires 4 hands. So unless you could use both your hands and feet at the same time, as prehensile feet, it would not work.
Yeah, it might have to be lots of simultaneous stuff.
I want to see somebody do it. There's going to be a YouTube video
sure.
where somebody can
do it on the
I was just going to say they'll do it with
Yeah.
a guitar.
What I'm seeing here is from the physical. It might be different for digital, but as a full game owner, you invite your friends and they download a Friends Pass free trial from the digital store.
Yep, looks like
it's kind of cool that they give you that option. You know, I mean, for a lot of people, that's enough, just that they can play it.
Yeah.
So, you know, as long as you know what it is going in, you just prepare accordingly.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Are you guys interested in this game at all?
I am. I do want to play it.
I do too. I'm watching some video here. These dudes were fishing. They're out on the run and they were fishing. And so one of them was in the river splashing around to try and scare the fish. And then the other guy was standing there with a spear. So as he scared them into his spear, he could just, you know, catch the food that way. So they were working together in that regard. I'm like, it's just super clever. And I think Josef Fares he's a sweet dude. Like you know, I think he's a cool guy and I want to support him. So and he's doing some interesting things in the world of gaming. And it's only $30. That's not, I mean, it's a short experience, but that's not that's not a huge chunk of money to get in, you know, day one, early action. So yeah, anyway, there we go. Now let's move on to Sea of Thieves. All right, so Proulx, all right, before we get, we do have a comment from the community asking about this. I should read that because that is a great lead in to what we're talking about here. It comes from Fufu Cuddly Poof. He asks on Twitter, what are your thoughts on Sea of Thieves, and what are the impact that Games Pass has had on it? So we're going to start with Proux's thoughts on Sea of Thieves here, because did it occur to you at all? Because it didn't occur to me when Big L said it, was that you should buy the game digitally and then just pick it up for a physical copy when it's cheap, and just Games Pass it for now, or is that just absolutely do nothing for you? No,
that doesn't do anything for me at all. I wanted the game physically at launch, so I got the game physically at launch. That's kind of the start and stop of that story.
Okay.
I do have many thoughts about Sea of Thieves, however. Me and Sea of Thieves, we've had quite the relationship so far. So
let's hear it.
All right.
I'll just let you. I'll just let you take it away, because and you know, paint the picture. Let us know your experience. You know, maybe some highlights, some lowlights. I don't know. You just take the floor, Proulx.
There will be plenty. Okay. So, all right. Here's the thing. Sea of Thieves comes out on a Tuesday, like every other video game. Well, not every other video game, but most video games come out on Tuesdays. So, and I'm excited to pick up the disc. So I go after work, I buy the disc. I'm like, yeah, all right. I want to put the game in. There's a bunch of people already playing. Hey, let's all get on and play. No, of course not. Of course not. Because no, you don't get to play the game that you just paid $60 for, or in Games Pass members terms, you're $10 a month or whatever. No, because you can't. Because we're stuck in 2004, where every online game features the same exact launch issues. Man, do I not understand people who make excuses for this behavior. Like, this was unacceptable when it was going on 10 years ago. But this game has had stress test after stress test after stress test. Of course, the live game is going to have way more people in it than the beta did. Of course it is. That's why you have a beta, so you can kind of gauge interest and go up from there. You know, well, maybe I'm being harsh, and maybe this game wasn't backed by one of the largest companies in the world. Sorry, I'm really frustrated. This is so stupid. I should not be denied playing this game. If you call me entitled, whatever, I've heard all these excuses. I think that if you pay for a product, it should work. If I pay for a book or a movie and there are no words or no pictures in those products, I should immediately get a refund, an apology, and a credit off of the next thing I purchase. If I buy a video game and it does not work, I get nothing. And if you get this video game and you can't play it online, you can't play it at all.
Right.
So it's useless. It's a coaster. Or if it's a Games Pass thing, then it's, I guess, just a digital coaster. Whatever. Anyways, really bothers me. So I rage tweeted Rare. But that's my rant about that. It's fine. Okay. So I couldn't play the game for most of, I think it was from about 4:00 in the afternoon until I got into a game, I think about 11.
Did you just queue up random? Did you have people involved? Did you go solo?
At first I was playing with people from the community. Mm-hmm. Then I was trying to do solo. Then I gave up for a few hours. And then I got in with some of my my real life friends.
Right.
And we finally got into a lobby. It was about 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
I don't know how far we want to get into it, but there are plenty of problems with the game proper once you get into it. And of course, I'm already frustrated, right? Because I'm already having this negative experience. Well, you get into the game proper and you have no idea what the heck you're supposed to be doing.
So I in my head, after playing the beta and the alpha and all that, and thinking, okay, yeah, they're just giving you a set of things, right? A sandbox to play in. But when the real game comes out, there's probably going to be some sort of narration. There's certainly going to be NPCs. There weren't any of those, but they're going to at least get you started.
Nope.
That's not the case, huh?
It's not the case. It drops you in the bar on an island. And that is it. There's literally no, I could be wrong, maybe, but I don't think there's even any text that says, hey, you're a swashbuckling pirate on this island and you need to plunder some treasure and here's what you do. None of that. There's no press left bumper for this thing or right bumper for this, press X to do. It's just, you're in this bar. One of the friends that I was finally got matched up with, he had played the beta. Mm-hmm. So if he wasn't there to say, oh, we need to go get this quest, then we need to all go vote on the quest. Then we all need to figure out where the quest tells us to go. Then we can sail there together. And one person needs to raise the anchor. One person needs to set the sail. Like, if he wasn't there, I probably would have ripped this game in half. Like, this is a half of a game at best. And I got to tell you, I'm real disappointed. I did have a good time. Once I knew what was going on, once I got into a solid party with people that I trusted and had fun with, it was fun. But man, my initial experience with this game is entirely negative. And I feel like I've been ranting for a while. So I don't know if you've played the retail version or you, Chin, either, but you guys maybe have some thoughts too.
So Chin, have you had any experiences with Sea of Thieves at all?
I downloaded it.
Okay. Did you get it through Games Pass? Is that? Yeah.
My game show partner has Games Pass. So
perfect.
I got it through that.
Gotcha. And I also won a month of Game Pass through the TA stream, so I did get my computer back, and I could get that code off of there. And if you're waiting on a code, well, you'll have your codes before this comes out. But sorry about being so late on your codes for February. But I got all that stuff back. I was able to purge my computer. Side note, I'm not able to download anything on my computer, so if anyone has a clever way to get Audacity on here where I can't have access to the hard drive, I would love to hear it, because right now I've got to go through web services to do it, which isn't great. And can't do iTunes, so that's kind of frustrating. Anyway, enough of those problems. But so I downloaded it, and then hearing all the grumblings about what's going on, and just getting the email now of saying, hey, by the way, TA has flagged the entirety of the game.
Yes. So that's something else entirely too that I should talk about. Like I said, I played two separate days, the first day, the second day. And I think I played once more since then. I've done things repeatedly, the same things repeatedly for the easy, quote unquote, easy achievements, like puking in a bucket and all this sort of stuff. No achievements for me. None. In fact, the second day it came out, I got into, just an impromptu sort of session with a bunch of community members where we were all just like, hey, who's thieving it up today? And I was like, hey, I'll put my hat in the ring.
See what happens.
Yeah, it was, it was Buffs and Cowboy Killer and, God, I'm going to forget the third person. Right? Forgive me because I know who you are, but I can't remember your gamer tag off the top of my head. Anyways, we were all in a group together and, Kingsman. Ah, good. I'm glad I remembered that. So it was the three of us, and not only was I not getting, none of us were getting achievements on that day. I wasn't even getting progress for like the fetch quests that we were doing. So essentially, how it works is there's 3 factions, and you kind of recycle fetch quests for each of them. So you go out and to the islands and you grab the treasure, you bring them back, and you get progress so you can get better quests for better loot. Well, we played a few hours at least, and everybody else was getting progress, and I never got any progress. Now, some people did get progress once they logged in the next day or whatever, but achievements seem to be entirely suspended at this point, or partially at least. And progress and regular progress also seems to be sort of suspended. It seems like they're doing the bare minimum to get the people on the servers at this point. Again, not a great place to be.
From what I remember I think we saw some patch notes on the TA staff side where it said they had just basically disabled the achievements for the time being because it was so bottlenecked. Like that, and there was a video earlier where they said they got 4 times as many people as they ever got in the betas and way more than they expected or something. It's just, everything bottlenecked, and they're trying to make it through the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, they are having some downtime after when we're recording this. They're closing things down for like 5 hours this upcoming weekend, which is terrible timing for a brand new game, which has a ton of excitement. I mean, it's eclipsed so many, like, there's so many people playing it right now on Twitch and Mixer. And I mean, it's incredibly popular. People are really excited. And what I like seeing, though, is, that it's catering to that casual crowd, which is nice. Like, there is, there are people who don't typically play video games who are interested in this because it's fun and silly and very approachable, at least to get into a boat, and then they don't tell you how to play. Like, Oh, by
the way, they don't even tell you which boat is yours. It's just there's a boat at the end of a dock, and I guess it's assumed that should be your. Anyways, I don't want to just rag on it because there was fun to be had.
Yeah,
there was fun when I was in a group of people that I knew, and we were all working together, and that was a really kind of unique sort of. Almost like a Left 4 Dead-y kind of feel where it felt very, very focused on the group as opposed to the individual. A lot of fun there, but it was when you're.
How did it look?
What's that?
Like you've got a 1X, so was it?
Oh,
how was it visually?
Very pretty, very pretty. It's got that WoW-y kind of cartoony style. But the water effects, which I believe were borrowed or something, is what I heard.
Forza.
Right from Forza, yeah. Very nice. Actually, very nice. The look is the overall look. I would say decent, but the skyline and the water is solid. It's on point. It's real good. I liked the look of the game and it looked well. The only other problem that I would say is. And of course, we're on shaky ground. It's early on, but the balancing of the people coming into a game just trying to enjoy themselves and the griefing from the community at large. So it kind of suffers from a GTA sort of online sort of effect where, I'll admit that the group I was in was also engaging in this behavior where as soon as you see another ship, you're like, okay.
Get them.
But that's kind of the charm of the game as well. So
let's pull their pants down and spank them. Yeah,
it's a tough balance. But
so, what's the dunce cap going to look like in this game?
Yeah, that's a good question. What would it look like?
You get
eye patches.
Yeah, I was going to say two peg legs, 2 hooks. Like you can't do anything. You can't hold anything.
You know what? I'm totally expecting for this game is 6 months from now, we're going to see those. Remember those sort of articles that came out after half a year of Destiny or The Division where it was like, this game is totally worth playing now, and like how it launched. Like, I'm kind of expecting that sort of curve for this.
You'll get there
for this game as well. Like, once they have the time and they can sort of build up the baseline gameplay, then they can really put the good content in there. I expect it to be something special. I don't think we're there yet. So that's where I'm at.
Interesting. And, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully everything gets fixed before our game club in April. April 1st, we're getting that thing started. I wanted to get in and test the waters a little. Well, the puns, they just you can't even avoid them. But I wanted to test the waters before really getting into it, and I just why would I do? Well, I guess anything I would do would be relatively easy. Do you think any of this is going to be retroactive?
I really hope so.
I hope so.
God, I really hope so, because I don't know how. I mean, I guess you could just restart your progress, but
I mean, it'd be unfortunate if you went and got, a dozen chests and then had to just redo all those.
Yeah,
I know there's an achievement for getting 20. I don't know how high it caps out at, but
I'm sure there are people that. Yeah, I would imagine if they had like a conscious decision to stop the achievements, they could have somewhere cached that data. I would hope.
I also assume that it's still being tracked. It's just hidden or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, what a terrible launch.
We seem to be a good game though. So.
Yeah.
Assumptions aren't always the best.
That is true. Now, let's, to answer Fufu's backup question here then about the effect of Games Pass. Do you think, a lot of people I'm familiar with, certainly in our community and have seen online, is that many people are doing the Games Pass route to play this game, not necessarily buying it outright, but using their free trials or using that subscription, because at some point this year they'll buy 2 games, and so it's worth it for them just to get Games Pass for the year. What do you guys think about that impact?
I think that's what's caused all these problems to begin with, really.
There's so many because they weren't anticipating the volumes.
Yeah, and I'm wondering whether they must have known that it was going to be on Games Pass, like well into like this wouldn't have been something that they suddenly dropped on them. So I can't imagine how they didn't plan for it. Yeah.
No, that's totally fair. How long are you going to keep your Games Pass, do you think, Chin? I guess it's your game share partner, but
I think he's got 6 months, but I think I'll probably, once his 6 months are up, I'll probably cover it up. So we'll do half a year each or something.
Smart. Yeah, that's
assuming we don't run out of stuff to play. Crackdown will be in there soon, so we'll like that.
I was just looking at the list of, because we have a follow-up question here. We can move on from the Sea of Thieves talk, but Philip Wendell asks, for those of you with Games Pass, are there games that you're eyeing for easy achievements or completions? I just finished up Pac-Man CEDX myself. Elliphalet77 recommends The Bridge and Hue. I was just looking at the list, and it's not like there's not. I played a bunch of those games, but there's nothing there that it's like, oh yeah, like boy, I can't wait to get in on that action. There's plenty of great games in there, and there's certainly things. It's just my backlog's so big in general that it's like, I'm not sure what of these I need to focus on. Have you guys taken a look at Proulx? Are you a Games Pass member?
Well, I used my
your free trial.
Then it lapsed and it kind of charged me for a month. So I had about a month and a half of Games Pass, which
that's right. I remember
tremendously enjoyed, and I did actually go through and look down the list to get as much easy.
Right, Virtual Fighter was one of them.
Virtual Fighter was one of them. I went down the list and got a lot of the easy stuff done. So there is a lot in there that you can do and get through pretty quickly. Honestly, like you say, Fream, if I didn't have a zillion trillion games already sitting here, I would be a Games Pass member. It's just the fact that like I would just be. It's like Netflix, it has a zillion things that you could watch and 2 things that you do. If you already have 100 things sitting on your shelf, then there's no reason to have that as well. So. That's just my current state. But if somebody's jumping into Xbox or they've already played all this old stuff that I haven't, it would seem tremendously worth it, especially if, as Microsoft is doing now, they're putting all their new stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, like, I am just to not have my my quote unquote friends come over and let me use their account.
Like
it's just, yeah, like having Review Z come over. It's so nice just to be like,
that travel time is tough.
It's really hard, especially if he's in Europe or, Australia. Like, sometimes he's here in Minneapolis, which is great. He just travels a lot. But it's great to just not have to even worry about calling him up. I could just, I'm just logging on my own tag. I don't need your help today. Thank you, sir. I think the one that's got me most interested is that I don't own nor have access to is Rime. That's a pretty sweit game, and I don't have it. So that's one I'm kind of eyeballing there. But anywho, we got some other comments here. Let's get this question comment by JJ Aldana 2. He says, "Hey, if there's a sound or a musical tone that plays whenever Crandy gets rainy, would it be A, the sound of raindrops, B, the first guitar chord of Raining Blood, or C, the raining sounds of communism?" What do you think we should do for us, like an intro sound effect for Randy when he is going to go into a rant? Do you got any suggestions here?
Like the Chinese water torture.
Just
you
have
like
bloop,
a drop
bloop.
of water every second, just slightly in the background throughout the whole thing.
Get all these people, like, they take their earbuds out and there's just blood all over them. Like, just slow, like Scanners style, except it's just, fractures in the head instead of just full on explosion.
I was thinking, for sad music cues, I was thinking the Hulk theme song from
where he walks away.
Yeah, it's a meme now at this point, but
Family Guy, right?
From the 70s, I think is where it was from.
Oh, hey, so all right, I've got some Disney commentary here. All right, you guys ready for this? So there's a new, let's call this Zombie News Corner. All right, there's a Disney movie out there, a Disney, one of those made-for-TV type movies. It is a 2-hour experience called Zombies. Okay, and the story is where it's essentially Romeo and Juliet. You have a high school where sometime, it sounds like 20 to 30 years prior to this moment, there was a zombie apocalypse where the zombies, attacked a bunch of humans. But the humans, they were able to control the outbreak, and they put these bracelets on the zombies, which controls their impulses. So now the zombies, although being dead, no longer crave human flesh. And so they've been living this way for a while. They have a zombie society, and then there's the human society, and they've been segregated. But this year in the movie, they are allowing zombies and humans to go to the same high school together. Classic Romeo, Juliet, Capulets and Montagues. There's a lot of, there's the undertones of racism here, where people are upset. Like, I don't trust zombies because they ate my grandfather. Like that, those are some deep wounds that I have to deal with. That aside, so the main character, the main zombie character, his name is Zed. He is really excited to try out for the football team. That's his goal. The main female character, well, she really wants to be a cheerleader, but she hides this dark secret where, everything has to be normal, prim, proper, very blonde hair, blue eyes, pretty, but she has white hair. Like paper white hair. And so she covers it with a blonde wig because you couldn't possibly be different in this world. Okay. This actually is a pretty decent movie. I cannot rain on it because it is one of those like step up type dance musical movies. And the dancing is actually pretty good. B, the songs are catchy as hell, and I am humming them in my head right now. I cannot get it out of my skull. And like, even when I'm like humming the bars in my head, I'm doing this little like shimmy groove thing here. Like, I cannot help but dance and move. And the fact that now it's, of course, it has my kids so hypnotized by it. It's on every day, at least once a day. And they're playing it through dinner. They're just constantly on. And so I'm, if we come to this and I'm just grooving over here. So if you get a chance, zombies, humans, Romeo and Juliet, great love story. Acting, pretty terrible. Dancing, pretty solid. Music, very good. There you have it. Sorry, total tangent. But that will be Zombie News Quarter for the week. Doughboy asked, I recently picked up my 6th copy of Madden 2005, and each one is for a different console. What game that you have the most copies of, either different consoles or on the same console, but what game do you own more than once? Do you have anything, Proulx, Chin?
I'm trying. Actually, easy. This is easy for me. I own, I don't know, depending on how you want to count it.
Don't count Minecraft. I'm not counting Minecraft.
I'm not counting Minecraft.
Okay.
Nope, I'm not counting Zelda either, but you're getting closer. Pokemon. That's right. I own a trillion different versions of Pokemon because they come out in pairs and often with a third version afterwards. You could count each generation as that same game. It's kind of a cop-out. I'm trying to think of Xbox games. I mean, I own Skyrim twice, which I would own 10 times if I could get more achievements in it. That sort of stuff. Stuff I've talked about before. Pokemon is easily the best example, I think.
Now, of the Pokemon, is it like the same game multiple times? Because
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're talking red, blue, and yellow, that's essentially the same game 3 times.
Sure.
Each generation of Pokemon is like that. So you've got red, blue, and yellow. Then you've got gold, silver, and crystal. So, each time that you do a new Pokemon game, and sometimes it doubles up. Like you've got black and white, then black and white 2, or now we have, whatever, take your pick. There's lots and lots and lots. So, no, X and Y was now. A generation ago. I'm trying to remember them. Yeah, right. The Hawaiian ones, which are Sun and Moon, and then now there's Ultra Sun and Moon, which I don't have actually. I don't have the newest versions yet. I don't have the Ultra Sun and Moons, but I will, I'm sure, at some point. So, definitely for me, it's Pokemon for sure. So
sure. Yeah. I'm trying to think of any game I own more than 2 of. Like, there's a lot of games I own on the 360 and the One, but nothing. Like, I can't. I'm struggling to think of anything that I own more. Metro, but that's the re-release, right? So I have Last Light and Redux, and then I have Last Light and Redux on the One, and I have the combo too, right? Because the lists were separate.
The physical, yeah.
So I technically have 3 of those that I've never played. I'm going through my list here, trying to figure out what I might have. Anything for you, Chin?
All right, I'll give you some thinking time. Yeah, kind of. And much to Proulx's annoyance, all of the Kingdom Hearts stuff.
We talked about this, actually.
So I have most of that on their original console,
right,
or whatever, and all of the remixes and re-releases and HD 1.5.
So do you want to try to explain it to the audience now, how you explained it to ignorant me that one day? Because it was actually kind of interesting because I don't understand Kingdom Hearts at all. But there's there's kind of a system there. I still think it's kind of a silly system, but there's something going on there. Can you give us a Cliff Notes version at least?
Yeah. Okay.
No, nobody can control that. That is ridiculous.
The main stuff is Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, and the 3 which will be released. You could honestly play them all and not really, if you didn't care about the lore, you'd be mostly, 80% of the way, missing little chunks, but whatever. They released a couple games in between 1 and 2 to bridge that gap, and they released them before the second was released. After 2, they released a lot more side stories, world building stuff. So stuff that happened, way before the first one, just building all that lore and building up the world. It's really confusing looking at it. Once you do it, you sort of get it and it's all right. But looking from the outside,
is it worth your time though?
The naming
convention.
For most people, no.
At least you're honest.
This is one of my big. Yeah, this is one of my big series. So, Proulx loves Halo, everything Halo. I can't stand it. I love Kingdom Hearts. I would buy everything in a heartbeat.
Fascinating.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, there you have it, man. Okay, so be it. I think that was my list here. Hey, Philip Wendell asks, if you were on a deserted island and were given the choice between playing Ben-Hur or Horse Racing 2016 for the rest of your life, what would you choose? Aren't they the same game essentially, except one is a chariot being pulled behind some terribly animated horse?
Yeah, and it doesn't take as long.
Horse Racing 2016 doesn't take as long as Ben-Hur.
I was
that's a longer completion.
And there's a bit more variety.
I haven't played horse racing. I played Ben-Hur and I did not enjoy my experience.
I think there's 3 different types of almost identical races in horse racing, as opposed to just the one in Ben-Hur. So
that game was so bad, though. Man, that game was bad. That game took me. There was another game that people were like 45 minutes and you're done, and it took me 2 hours, and I'm like, oh God! I think you're underestimating how long it takes to actually beat this stupid game.
No, that sounds absolutely miserable.
I think you need some lessons.
Good, son. Oh, okay. Well, Chin has had a lot of fun being on here today, but he's got to go. Very busy electing the new Prime Minister of Australia. So,
torrential downpour, actually. I'm going to be handing out soggy pieces of paper.
Is it actually raining? Because you have another cyclone in the area too, don't you?
Yeah, there was. It was supposed to go the other direction. I think we're just getting some of the edge of it. So yeah, it's just started downpouring. That's going to be fun to edit.
That's also going to turn away voter turnout, huh?
It'll be soothing. Vote early, vote often.
Not that people wanted to vote anyway, but
perfect. We got a question. Oh, here we go. From Planting. Do you guys have a game you play for fun? Yep, there. He said it. F word. What do you guys been doing for fun recently? Anything? Proulx? What's your fun
I took
game?
a break for a while, and I've been really kind of getting not hard back into it, but going back into Rocket League. Playing some Rocket League lately, and the spring
fling or whatever
the spring update, which is going to have the tournament mode, which may come back up some point in the future. I hope here for Z to Z, but nothing to do with that. That's still too early out. But
my son has been super excited. He's been getting loot boxes. He's all about it.
Yeah, so you can get flowers now, I think is what's going on with the spring event. I think they're flowers. I can't remember, but I don't ever pay attention to it. I haven't changed my car type or even my exhaust or anything since forever ago. But a bunch of my friends have been playing Rocket League lately, and so I got to play some more Rocket League, and I love that game, man. I just love that game. So that is that is
a solid game. That's for darn sure. What about you, Chin Docta? What have you been up to? Or what's your fun
FIFA.
game? Still,
I love FIFA. I'm soccer, FIFA. That's what I play for fun. It's when I don't want achievements, and I've never played FIFA for achievements, so I get it every year and then just pick up what I can while I play.
For me, so mine is not video game related, but because I have a bunch of board games that I play with my buddies that's where I spend my time is playing Dominion or Seven Wonders, or hopefully whenever we can get a chance, it's hard, is to finish my Seafall game. That's my pirate game, is the Pirate Legacy board game thing. which is so much fun. And it, it's a cool campaign and stuff. So those are the games I play for fun when I don't have my Xbox near me, because I just don't have enough time. So if the Xbox is near me, I got to be earning achievements, because otherwise, I shrivel up and die, I think. So yeah, that's what I end up doing. Cowboy Killer 360 asks, McDonald's or Burger King?
Easy.
Proulx?
I mean, it's McDonald's.
For sure. Do you agree, Chin Docta? Do you have those out there?
The burgers are better at... we have a Burger King, like how we've got EB Games instead of GameStop. We have Hungry Jack's. Hungry Jack's burgers are better than McDonald's, but chips and nuggets are better at McDonald's. So
that's weird. Hey, actually, that reminds me of... what do you guys have for, like, political parties out in Australia? Like you guys are...
Liberal and Labour, basically business for one side, and the workforce, the tradies.
Is it
or your
essentially two parties?
Fridges, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a Greens party that has. The independents are a little bit more important now because they swing a lot of votes in the Senate, but it's basically.
Fream, and I don't want to speak for Chin or his people. But you know how the political parties here are represented by
a donkey and an elephant.
Well, they have their political parties are represented by a kangaroo and a koala. Presumably, I would assume, right? What else would they be?
Komodo dragon and
cobra,
a Tasmanian devil.
Okay, all right, cool. Do you guys have animal mascots for your political parties?
Not that I'm aware of. They might, but it's not.
It's a big. It's
certainly
a big
not something that comes up.
You'd be surprised.
I'd imagine it'd be a kangaroo and an emu.
Oh, okay.
So the kangaroo would be for the labor or the business,
the workforce. I think for the workforce.
Okay,
because they're the big, strong, and they'll punch your lights out. And the emu is just a giant, fancy, lazy, non-flying bird.
Outrun you. So I have a question, and this I totally stole this. This was on the Game Informer podcast. This was their question of the month, but I thought it was super interesting. And it is, so here's the premise. Humans have 100 hit points, okay? So like as a human being, we all have 100 hit points. What does 1 hit point worth of damage look like?
Stubbing your toe would be one.
You think so?
Maybe cut between the fingers.
No, that seems...
So, like, if you stub your toe 100 times, like, you would die?
Well, there's that famous saying, and I'm going to get it wrong now because, of course, I thought of it and can't remember the specific actual saying. It's cut 1,000 times, or what is it? It's death by 1,000 cuts. Thank you. Yeah. Right. Well, if that's the case, then 1 cut would obviously be 10. Well, now I have to do math. It would be a tenth. It would be a tenth of your health.
Yeah. And you have 10 toes, so you're thinking stubbing 1 toe. So you'd have to stub your foot. Then I guess
both feet at the same time,
which would hurt tremendously. Well, yeah. What would be 1% of your health?
Like a burning
your tongue would be up there.
Maybe. Yeah. That could be it. That could be it. The intensity of the tongue burn continues to. So the other thing, because I was thinking, like, so the follow up to his question then was, what is the lowest HP you've ever been at, realistically?
Oh,
like where?
Interesting question.
Yeah, that's why I had to add this. Like, I heard it on the podcast, and I'm like, this is such a fascinating mind. Idea here, that just trying to comprehend like what exactly this means, because the comments that they were having was like, if you could feel really rotten, right? Like you can have the flu and like just feel terrible, but like, are you actually that close to death at that point? Like, are you at low hit points? And the contention was that you're not. Even though you feel terrible, you're not actually going to die. But what are those instances maybe where you were, significantly laid up?
I would say, okay, my lowest hit point, and I would say that I have been fortunate where I'm a generally very healthy person, and not through any fault of my own, just through genetics and a good environment situation. I've never really experienced any sort of terrible, tremendous, awful injury or sickness, knock on wood or whatever. But I would say like the worst sickness, which was flu, maybe I'm probably like 75 is the lowest I've ever hit, honestly, like where I like literally had to sit down because I was so dizzy. But that's nothing. Like that's
right.
Like you say, that's literally nothing. I was not in danger of dying or being knocked out or whatever we would put it in video game terms. So I'm not
dizziness.
I was maybe dizzy or whatever. Right. Yeah, exactly. So I feel fortunate enough to say that, but maybe you guys have had maybe some worse experiences.
Yeah, I had a pretty rough run in high school where like every year of high school I had some significant surgery and or ailment. And probably the worst one of those was my lung collapsed. And I was out playing disc golf, and like I had separated my rib cage a little bit, and so that was enough to cause trauma, and the whole thing collapsed. I felt like I was having a heart attack. And so like, of course I was out in the middle of a field somewhere. So I had to we had to drive home and get to the hospital and all that. So like I was in a significant amount of pain with a lung that had a hole in it with the air pushing on the outside of the lung, crushing it into my body. Of course, not being able to pass air well enough, so feeling faint and dizzy with the chest pains and the numbness that goes with that. That wasn't great. That actually happened twice. After they fixed it, they thought, it'll just heal up, it'll be great. Not so much. Did not take. So I had to go under surgery again for that one. So that was but even that, like, I mean, what is that? Maybe still at 60 hit points. Like, that wasn't that bad. In terms of relatively successful surgeries. But yeah, it's because the other thing I was thinking about too, like just letting this idea go a little longer is, I mean, ultimately as a human being, you are constantly being hurt, right? So like you have different status ailments like poison, right? Or if you have a cold, you're sick. Like, so it's draining your health, your hit points, but the human body inherently has regeneration. So you have a percentage of regeneration. So you're always getting back up toward 100%. And then as you age, like your regeneration rate slows down. So it takes longer to recover. And so every hit point you get knocked down, it takes a little longer to get that back. But like if you scrape your knee really bad and you're bleeding, you got a big old scab, like eventually if you keep that from getting hurt again, like you can regenerate back to your normal health and stuff. And I was just thinking of like all the different status effect ailments that go along with that. Like, the sleep spell, right? Like if you get put into a coma, if you're, mentally paralyzed, or if you're actually physically paralyzed and put into I don't know. It's just weird to video gamify a life. I thought that was really interesting.
So then what do you think is the longest period of time where you've been at 100 health? Like, do you think you've gone a week where you've just been perfect health and not lost a hit point?
It's gotta be like when I was like a baby or a young kid, right? Where like your regeneration rate is so high that like you can't even get knocked down.
I was actually thinking of the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, who is the person that survived at 1% the longest? Like, you hear about these stories. Like, for what I was thinking of was the guy who in the Grand Canyon from the movie.
127 hours.
Oh God, that was terrible. I don't even think he's, or even from the movie The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, like that sort of thing where like he got mauled by a bear and was left to die. That sort of thing where he got to as low as percentage as possible. That sort of thing is just as interesting.
Sure.
Surely Stephen Hawking had been on there.
in a different way, I think.
Yeah, he permanently.
Yes, exactly. He was, his handicapped essentially, right? So his scale was entirely different than most people. But right. Seriously, he overcame all odds. Like, he lived for decades longer than he was projected to live. So,
what's it called in Wolfenstein when you grab too many health packs? So you go over that 100%.
Oh,
he was just
I can't remember. I know what you're talking about.
To stay above his max.
So that's also an interesting side of the conversation as well.
Right? Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, fun. Awesome. Well, let's see what else do we got for the show? I think that kind of wraps it up for what I wanted to cover this week. Do you guys have any big plans for the upcoming week here? You guys excited for April, the new lists? How you guys doing on your RTDLers? You guys giving up yet, Proulx?
I gave up. I gave up 2 weeks ago, honestly. I gave up earlier in this month. When I first saw the list, I was like, oh, this is almost entirely doable. And then gave up halfway through. Like, just straight up gave up. Yeah. It was due to other factors and, lots of other things going on. But Random To Do is kind of taking a backseat. I'm excited. I'm always excited for new lists. So I hope this will motivate me to do some more interesting things.
Right. I'm pumped. I can't wait. And if you listen to the rest of the show, we're gonna do the announcements for what the April games are, the April contests. So stay tuned for that. I will do the game mashup as well. It's back. I got all my the documents I needed, so I can actually do what I wanted. I'm so excited. Getting this computer thing back up and running. And it's nice. I wish it wasn't so negative on my productivity, because I'm going to get fired. It's going to happen. Great. So yeah, anything else, Chin, you want to, best of luck with your dad. I hope he's,
hopefully things go well there.
He's successful. With that, so first mayor, then prime minister. Have we decided that's what we're hoping for?
Small steps. We'll take over the state next, and then the country.
That's wonderful. Awesome. Well, with that, then I think it's about time we sign off. I want to thank everybody so much for listening. I appreciate you taking the time. If you have an opportunity and want to give us a rating or review, if you're new to our little community here, that'd be great. It's a great free way to support us. You can also support us financially over at Patreon at z2z.com, or no, patreon.com/z2z. What I was telling you was our website, z2z.com. That is where you can get the show and see our show notes and things. But we have so many other places to go, like Discord, discord.io/z2z. That's the place to go to come hang out with our chat in our community. It's awesome. Or if you're interested in those contests, forums.z2z.com. You can go there. As far as contacting us and letting us hear your thoughts, those are places. You can also use Twitter at Z2Z, ZEDTOZED, or email us directly, contact@z2z.com. Chin Docta, anywhere, you're interested in people bothering you, watching your streams? Are you doing any streaming normally, or only UHH time?
I took a break after UHH elimination, and then I moved, and I've been unpacking for what feels like about 3 months now.
Yeah.
So all the boxes are being stored in what will be the games room, streaming room, everything. So hopefully next couple of weeks I'll get that done, and then it'll be weekends and that UHH Monday morning for you guys time slot. But yeah, mixer.com/Chin Docta, eventually it will come back. And that's Doctor, DOCTA, not spelled properly. Same gamer tag on Xbox, TA, Twitter, although I don't do that much on Twitter. I retweet competitions if you want to try and win free stuff. So
there you go.
That. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. That's great. Proulx, what about you?
People can find me on Xbox, and here obviously on the show under Proulx. I'm not going to spell it for you, but it's in the show notes. You can find me at Twitter under the name One Up Down. That is the number one, not the word, and we can talk about all sorts of things, games. So go ahead and find me there.
Yeah, and you can talk about Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Come visit us next month in Sea of Thieves month. It'll be great. Yeah, we will totally.
We hope.
Right.
Yes, we hope it will. Yes, we do.
Delightful. Okay, so with that, on behalf of Proulx and Chin Docta, I've been Brandon, and to all you achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next episode.
Z to Z Podcast presents Review Z.
Hello and welcome to another week's episode of Review Z. You got your host Damien /Spazpole here, hey, and my co-host Warren Planning 42. Woohoo! Hey, all right. So I've been thinking about it, and Warren, we have an opportunity here. You are the creator. I was going to say inventor, but creator, host, the grand guru of the G task, right? Yeah, it's your baby. So we have I feel like we have an opportunity here before we cut into the Review Z segment to give something to our listeners, something special. And I don't know, is there anything special you can do because of you're the brains of G task?
Well, I guess I could always snap my fingers and do the roll to find out what the bonus is going to be for the next period, the one that rolls around just a couple hours after the show comes out.
Yeah. Oh, you mean so somebody listening right now might know what's going to come up in about 4 hours, depending on how long into the segment they are, before noon Eastern?
That is entirely possible.
Well, let's not tease our listeners anymore. I mean, so if you're looking into the future, so we're going to say this would be March 28th. What do you think our bonus is going to be, Mr. Planting?
I think that the solo side bonus is going to be That's Just Mean, which requires you to end the scoring period with double the ratio earned during the previous period. So if you had ended with a, say, 1.7, you're now going to need a 3.4. Good luck.
Yeah. I guess people might have about 1 hour to completely dive their ratio.
Yeah, I guess it's just a heads up of don't immediately start with incredibly low ratio things because you're probably not going to want to.
Good point. Well, okay, so that's pretty cool. I'm wondering, can we do this moving forward? You think we can make this the official podcast of the GTASC?
I don't see why we couldn't give a little something back to our listeners.
Well, while we're in this what almost charitable way of giving back, how about we cut it over to our giving them our feedback on our review for the week?
Oh, there you go.
All right. So the game for this week we got is Claybook. So this was published and developed by Second Order. It was released. Well, it's still technically in game preview, but kind of came out. What was it? Early March, mid-March. I guess there's no official release date because they just kind of right.
I believe so. Yeah, I think it came out something like in the range of 2 or 3 weeks ago, but yeah.
Okay, so early March, still in game preview though, so I guess officially not fully released yet. Is available for $14.99 in game, and it's I think the mixed genre vote. They say a puzzle platformer. I'll argue it doesn't really strike me as a platformer, but I'll definitely give it a puzzle game. So let's see. So the story. You're that guy. I guess I don't understand how he does it, but he has what is that? Like an Atari 2600 joystick?
I think 2 of them, right?
Something like that, yeah. So you're this kid, I guess, or you basically take the shape of a piece of clay that's usually in a mini map, which is a what kind of like the floating camera behind you, and I guess as the kid you're navigating the piece of clay to go through whatever the objectives are of that, the book that you're in, the Claybook, right? So it's a book with all these chapters, and each chapter that you play has objectives. It might be to roll through these certain things, or as a piece of clay, hollow out some other object. Basically, you're given some set of objectives to do, and you gain stars for unlocking the objectives, and the more stars you unlock, the further along you can go in the game. That, would you say that covers it?
Yeah, that pretty much covers the backstory. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. So why you're doing it, I don't know. That's just you're molding clay. I will say, I think you mentioned this, or you suggested this game, and I was thinking, like, at least from the looks of it, it was going to be pretty awesome. Now, I'm hoping when we get into the graphics, you'll cover that, being that you get the 4K experience that I miss out on, not being an Xbox One X owner. But let's talk about the achievements for our listeners.
Okay. Well,
you want to go?
Sure. There's 10 each. They're all 100G. There's only 2 of them that are actually story related. One of them, which is basically for completing a book, which is 4 levels long. That can simply be 1 starring the level or 3 starring the level. It doesn't matter if you get it perfectly. You just got to do some of your objectives in each level. The other achievement is for 3 starring all books in a level. So you can do it in the first level, but you may or may not have good luck with eating the chocolate in this really large tower. I guess it comes down to your ability to navigate these spheres and objects around the environment. The rest of the achievements, the other 8, actually come down to doing different tasks in the levels themselves. Then the levels are spread out across the 4 books. So you actually have to spend some time doing work to doing these tasks to be able to unlock the levels you need for the achievements. And the achievements also differ in difficulty greatly. Some of them simply involve trying to maneuver objects into a spot or getting fluid from one place to another. Others involve no rewind races with specific shapes. And oh my God, those things are painful.
So now, did you do this? Because I know you were in party listening to me go through and do my speed runs.
I tried to do the castle run today, and I failed.
Oh, the Great Escape. Yeah, that one is definitely the hardest of all. The one where you're with the disc?
No, that's where you eat into the side of the castle, and then you need to get to a whole bunch of different points with a liquid trying to blast you off all the edges.
Oh yeah. That one was annoying. No,
I did try the disc one. I was doing great up until I had to get up this really thin spot, and I couldn't get the thing turned around. Like, you know what? No. I completed it with rewinds and just took the stars.
Yeah, no, I'll say it was. Yeah, I think that covers the achievements pretty good. I mean, I'm looking at my gameplay because I 1K'd it, and it says I played for 6 hours 54 minutes. I don't know if I actually played that long, if it was a lot of pause time, but yeah, you're correct, because the way that I guess it changed from when the achievement, like on TA with the video guides, because it looked like there used to be 2 books, so getting all 3 stars in one book, or complete all chapters in a book with 3 stars, would have taken a while, because I think they're now 4 books with 3 chapters.
4 chapters in them.
Yeah. 4 16. So it must have been 8 and 8. So you would have had to complete 8 chapters with 3 stars.
I think there might have just been 6 or 7, because there's a bunch that say new.
Oh, could be. So yeah,
they've added new levels. Is why they've spread it out into more books now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but either way. But yeah, so now you don't have to get 3 stars in all of 8, but you're going to have to anyway, because 2 of the achievements are requiring you to have the last book unlock, which means you have to have I think like 15 stars. I mean, again, it's not super difficult to do. It's just, I got to play some of these levels, not necessarily to get an achievement, to unlock achievements elsewhere, which, I mean, I guess is playing the game for not achievements.
It's making progress, and I mean, hey, it's playing with clay, and when you're playing Claybook, you would be playing with clay.
Yeah, so I think that's a good segue to the actual gameplay itself. So, and I think you touched on one. I watched your video of that the chocolate tower you're trying to eat, and were you seriously just pressing the right trigger and holding it and not moving your thing? Because
I was nudging it a little bit left and right. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you roll it. So roll your clay. The more aggressively you roll your clay around, even if it's in a small.
The more it eats. I know. I was trying not to fall off.
Oh, well.
Because if you fall off and rewind, you make a lump of chocolate because you are touching chocolate. And I didn't want to have to deal with trying to get rid of the chocolate.
So the way to get around that is when you fall off, let yourself hit the ground, roll a little bit, and then rewind further.
Oh, that's right, because whatever the last thing you touch is... Okay, well, hey, I did it in one run, so there
you go. Yeah, because I will agree. I did that a few times. It's like you just touch chocolate, and then you're like,
I made chocolate everywhere.
Oh my God, yeah, because you're like the instinct is to press. Okay, so one of the things you can do for our listeners, so when you're rolling your ball of clay, you can press the left trigger to rewind and go back. Like you'll make a stamping, which eventually you need to learn how to do this. You stamp your body. So like if you're a sphere, you stamp a sphere and then you rewind. And now there's a sphere where you had made that stamp. And eventually, like sometimes that's how you're going to have to get up an obstacle because it's too far just to reach on your own. But if you stamp yourself and progressively climb up the stamp, make a new stamp, rewind, you now have two stamps.
I couldn't do that path to get to there. You should have seen how I managed to get to it. I made a path of big spheres to crawl across to get to that thing.
I can only imagine. Yeah. So, I mean, the game
also, just to mention, there's two different ways to rewind. There's LT, there's also A, and then using the left thumbstick as a way to like move forward and backwards slowly if you want to have a little more control. I always found that left trigger was like just too fast and sudden with how quickly it worked.
Yeah, but I mean, I think to your point, right? Like you're trying to eat all the chocolate and then you fall off. And then I just do it instinctively, sometimes hit left trigger before I would let myself hit the ground. And the next thing you know, you've just stamped yourself as a bunch of chocolate. So you were at 75% of the chocolate eaten. Oh, you just made an entire chocolate stamp of yourself. Okay, you're now at 60%. You're like, oh, now I got to eat my stamp and then get back. And you're like, ah. Fun time.
Yep. So, like I say, it depends on how good you are at controlling the crazy physics in this game. It does exactly things function just like you think they would in a normal game of clay. Objects will make impressions in the ground when they hit hard. Whatever it is you're rolling will get disfigured depending on whether you're rolling it against objects or grinding into things. And I mean, it's really fun. I really think this is an awesome game.
Yeah. The one thing that if I was going to knock it on anything, it would be the camera. I did not. So it is that I think of, just for lack of just off the top of my head, Super Mario 64. And like you'd be running with your left stick and you control the camera with the right. However, if you moved, was it an inverted camera or was it not inverted? Basically, the controls were opposite what I thought they would have been. That if I would have pressed up, that the camera would have flown overhead, but instead it would go down or vice versa. So I always found myself trying to like get behind. If I was running really quickly and I would have just instinctively controlled the camera with my right thumbstick, the camera was going like, and it wasn't the left and right. The left and right was fine. It was the up and the down were inverted to what I would have naturally instinctively thought that they should have done the cameras for.
See, and that wasn't my issue with the camera. I found that I was always looking into the geometry because when I got too close to an object or too close to something, the camera would get sucked underneath and then I wouldn't be able to control it and zoom it back out. In fact, I really couldn't find a good way to zoom out ever.
Yeah, no, that was, if you got into a tight area, you're almost better rewinding and just getting out of the tight area because you weren't going to be able to navigate it comfortably with that camera. So
I mean, is that a huge drawback? Not really. And being as though it's in preview, hopefully that's something they're working on.
Yeah. Now, as I said, so the one thing where this game looked like it was going to really shine was on the graphics. On the regular Xbox One, it was okay. It was very clay-like, but it looked like from the ad that it was going to be a little more fluid. But I'm assuming with the 4K, it might actually have been a lot better. So what was your impression with
I thought it looked amazing. I mean, like everything had a really very crisp clay-y look to it. I don't know how you would call that. I mean, it looks like everything is a world of Play-Doh. It was really cool looking. The liquid, I think, was the most fun because it just had that really shiny feel to it, but yet it had enough of a push. But it was like viscous, like you could push it around, which was really good for some of the achievements.
Yeah, so I mean, so even at the $15 price point, I don't think it's unreasonably priced. I think it maybe was a little simplistic in the I mean, none of the puzzles were super difficult, a little bit of time consuming, but even at 7 minutes to finish a puzzle, there was no like, it didn't feel like anything was like rushed where you're like, oh my gosh, if I don't finish this in the next like 30 seconds, I'm going to be, there's like no real deadlines. It was just kind of a beat yourself for timing. So there wasn't it wasn't a game that it felt challenging in that kind of sense, but instead it seemed like a game that was, you'd almost be more appreciative, or even for a younger audience, and just kind of that cool, artsy playing, like as you said, playing with clay, just kind of relaxing almost, except for the races.
Well, and the fun thing with the races is that they're not really races so much of just it's just a clock that you're setting a time on. It's not like you have to do it in a certain time limit. It's just get it done without rewinding.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, true. But, overall, again, I don't think very completable. It definitely gives, I think, where it didn't really have much of a story, I think it really makes up for it in the displaying and the graphics. It just really, there was a lot of time and effort put into this title from that sense, I would say.
I agree. And the fact that, like I say, already we've had one major update where they've added, I wish I had a solid number here, but it looks like at least 2 levels, if not more, that there's potential that before this comes out of game preview, there's going to be more added to this game. So for the price, I think it's a pretty good deal.
All right. So I guess in summary, Claybook from Second Order Games, definitely worth checking out for $15. I think both of us liked it. Definitely completable. Good 1000 G. Not super difficult, but all there for the taking. And pleasant game we found. So thumbs up by me.
Yep. Likewise.
All right. Well, until next week, I'll see you then, Warren.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Hey guys, it's been a few weeks, but we do have a contest roundup for you. Since I missed last week because I didn't have my script, I didn't have my list of people for the GTA SC, all that fun stuff, I felt lost, and now, I've got it back, and we are rounding out the month of March, so we're kicking it into April, so I'm going to announce the April contest. But before we do that, let's do the GTA SC roundup and talk about all of our friends who are, the tops of the week. Well, let's start with period 9 that ended on March 14th, so a couple weeks ago. The top Z of that week, Squid Kids, the team of Weasel Pizza and Brutal Guitar. They were 16th. Our near miss, Team CGC. That's Cabo and John Pickle Willie. They were just about 40 TA over the elimination, 3 places. We did end up losing Team Enigma Gamer 77. That was Enigma Gamer 77 and New York Giants 4 SBS. Team Chi-Town Redneck and The North Remembers featuring Enter Gamertag. As far as the individual side, our top Z of that week goes to Stushnikin. He finished 33rd overall. Big points from him. The near misses, we had 2 people, 4 TA above elimination. They were 1 spot, and that was Marky B. Hoy 89 and LFC 5 Weighty 84. Yeah, that's 1 gamer tag. We did end up losing Crunchflake, Facial LaFleur, and our very own Spazpole in period 9. As for period 10, our top Zeds, the team of Smirnov and Redemption once again take the top spot. Eat, Sleep, Complete, Repeat, 4th overall. The near miss was the Sigmund Fuds, Infernal Roadkill, and Corner Scout. They were 10 places over elimination, about 350 TA. eliminated, well, LFC 5 Wadey 84, near miss in week 9, and in period 10, he goes down. Raptor, XTMX, and Ghost World are also eliminated. As far as their individual side, well, Smirnov takes the top Z spot for 6th place overall. Salzbar, that is their third near miss, 5 places over elimination, 34 TA. As far as eliminated people, we lost LFC 5, Wadey 84 from the individual side. We also lost Curse Souls, Enter Gamertag, Jzar 43, and Wicked Girl. Well, the random to-do lists are coming up here. The finish what you can in March, and then get signed up for the April lists. April will be the last month of our 4-month campaign here, a little trimester. So all the scores will get reset after the month of April, but do your best to get what you can here. There might be some changes at the end of the month for May. I don't know if we'll end up enacting any of them or not. There's been a couple of rule tweaks that we thought maybe we would implement. But as far as April, nothing is changing. And of course, if you haven't gotten a list yet, or you've never been a part of the random to-do list, absolutely get on board. You can sign up pretty much any time, even though, because every single achievement you earn gets you an entry into a raffle for some Microsoft money. So it's absolutely worth your time to get in, and it's super fun, and it helps tell you what to play if you are stuck with me, like have a giant backlog of games and would love a little direction. That absolutely works wonders. As far as the community challenge, well, we are finishing March, and March was spin-offs. Those are games that are not part of the main series. We have an updating list over at our forums, forum.z2z.com. You can head over there and take a look at what the acceptable entries are for that. Previous completions and stuff. Those all count for entries, as well as any individual unlocks during the month of March. April, well, I don't know if you guys knew this, but it is Tom Clancy's birthday in April. And so as a happy birthday, Tom Clancy, well, we are going to celebrate his entire catalog, all of the Tom Clancy games, the Ghost Recons, the Division, there's tons of them. So anything that you get there, 1 entry per achievement earned in the month of April. You get 5 entries if you had a previous completion of a Tom Clancy game. And you get 10 entries if you complete one of those games in the month of April. So that will be the April Community Challenge. Our gamer tags, we do a gamer tag challenge as well. We are finishing up Rocker Dude 5012, 10 letters, 4 numbers. That is March. April, we're redoing 2 of them. It is Kronos and Cowboy Killer 360. Cowboy Killer 360, that's pretty self-explanatory. As far as Kronos, well, it's actually spelled Xpovos. That is Greek for Kronos, right? Chi, Rho, OVO, what O, it's N. I forgot what N is. New. Anyway, XPOVOS. So there's some crossover there, right? Double O. So you actually only need 2 O games because Cowboy Killer also has 2 O's. You just have to earn 2 achievements in those. No diving them. And that should work out just fine. Don't worry about it. Game of the month. We are finishing up March. You heard it on the show here. Chin Docta and his game Manual Samuel. Well, that is the end of the month for that. We will recap our stats here in the near future about what kind of damage the Z2Z community did. As for April, well, it is Sea of Thieves. We are getting started on that. My first Sea of Thieves stream will be Sunday night. Those Sunday night streams, as always, the Z2Z game of the month with Fream. But this game is open to the public, right? If you guys want to join up, I'm happy to make a 4-man boat and we can go cruising across the sea. And hopefully by this time, the achievements will no longer be disabled. Even if they are, which it would be unfortunate. I mean, you can't see them on the stream anyway. I saw a tweet today from Rare that said everything's being tracked and everything should unlock retroactively. So if you did, you beat the Kraken or something while you were out cruising, you should get those achievements when they do come back online. Hopefully it's sooner than later. Also, keep your eyes out on our Discord chat, discord.io/Z2Z. We will likely be opening up the May voting for whatever we choose to be the May game of the month. Nothing has been decided yet, but we'll be reaching out to individuals to provide a submission, an entry, a guess, something they want to see, whether we crowdsource it with the community or have some, I know there's a big sale going on right now. Maybe, pick a game from there. We'll see. But May voting will be occurring soon. So if you're interested in participating in the Game of the Month discussions, join us for Sea of Thieves. All you need is Game Pass. And get on the May voting. Come join us on our Discord chat, discord.io/Z2Z. Finally, I want to announce we got our Patreon giveaway every month. We give a game away to one lucky patron. And so, if you donate money to the show, you increase your chances of getting pulled for that. All of the proceeds that we get from supporting the show go back into prizes and contests and keeping the show running. So I want to thank everybody so much for their kind generosity. So, keep your eye out for that. Probably I usually do the drawing the middle week of the month for the month previous. So finally, the last thing would be our Discord boosting rooms, of course. We are still working on Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare on the Xbox One. That is the first version of the game. We typically, so at 10 p.m. Central Time, we play about an hour or so worth of Garden Ops. That's, while we wait for the lobbies to die down, going for treasure yetis and vampire super waves. And then we move on to cleaning up some of the other things, going into other game modes and helping boost when things, get a little less crowded. Works out pretty well. So if you're interested in getting in on that, it's never too late to start. There's plenty of time to get in. And, I don't know how long we still have for that one. Some people are getting close, but I don't think anybody is actively working on it in their off time. So it's a relatively slow burn there. There's still some Halo Master Chief going on. Of course, I am still doing Battleborns on Wednesday nights. If you're interested in getting in on Battleborn, I got usually a great 5-man crew, 5-6 person crew there. There is some active work going on Happy Wars. You can check that in our LFG. As well as just other, generic LFGs, PUBG's in there, Rocket League, whatever tickles your fancy. Of course, with the new April random to-do lists, that would be a great time to check the LFG channel because tons of people are looking to help out and knock those achievements off their individual lists. So it's great. It's a fun time to be a part of the community. We are so happy that for all of you that are gaming with us. It's awesome, just absolutely awesome. So I'm going to turn it back to the rest of the show, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week. And we will talk to you next episode. See ya.
Hey everybody, welcome to What the L with the RTDL, episode 20, and I am Big L.
Woo! And I'm Elroy. So, L, you were telling me in chat that you have a bone to pick with me?
Bone, boy. Yes, you belittled me because I didn't get any achievements in the RTDL because, I had
You didn't?
a lapse in judgment and I was playing games for,
Oh, whoa. Family show, my man. You can't be dropping F-bombs out here. Family show.
Sorry. So last week, I found myself in a Sea of Thieves party, and everyone sounded like they were having,
L,
having a
You're not gonna
blast.
say what I think you're gonna say.
No, having a blast.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And one of the players in Sea of Thieves noted I was playing Boggle, and he kind of made fun of me. And I was like, yo, man, you don't get it. I just need these 3-letter words and 5-letter words for my random to-do list. And he's like, random to-who's-its? And, now I'm trying to get him to join RTDL and get a list for April. We don't need any more F-word having people in this world. And just to make you proud, Elroy, I got 4 more RTDL achievements this week. I don't think I'll get to a full combo or even a Kiefer, but I may just shoot for a Michael Jordan. Right now I'm at I don't know, who wore 21? Roberto Clemente?
Well, I guess a 22 could be called, I don't know, like an Emmitt Smith. He wore 22, leading rusher, Cowboys, all that good stuff.
Oh, Emmitt Smith. Yeah, he was amazing on Dancing with the Stars. Oh, yeah. Oh, dreamy. I always wondered what he'd look like wearing a tutu. Oh, he'd look so pretty. Oh, man.
Whoa. So, 21? That's a Roberto, and 22 is an Emmett, 23 is an MJ, and 24 is a Kiefer. But 25 will always be a full combo!
Come to think of it, the most notorious baseball player of all time, Barry Bonds, wore number 25, and he was a known cheater. And every time someone gets a full combo, I think they curate their list. This cannot be a coincidence, Elroy. Oh, I always knew Wanda's husband took PEDs before gaming.
Oh, yeah? Pedo Bear? Okay, well, I like to, I like where you're going with this. More research is needed. So, the penultimate month of the trimester is also almost at an end. And with only a couple days remaining, several people are touching the remnants of their lists, while others continue to handle their blessed RTDL list with a 10-foot pole. NBA Kirkland continues his dominance. He slam dunked his RTDL list this month, landing a full combo, the only one this month, and is naturally at the top of the leaderboard. Fuggy McFugface has fallen short this month with his Kiefer, as we discussed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
His Max Payne 3 Chivo of Man of Many Weapons looks to be too much for the old Fuggy, and it seems he has decided to fug it.
Whoa, easy there, man.
Thanks, man. By fug it, I mean he is content to eat his Werthers and watch Price is Right and collect his Kiefer for the month. In related news, I am content to just fug it on my list.
Oh, yeah? You got the Galaga Blues?
Yeah. But I wish old man Fug would play some Galaga. I really want somebody to fug it up. Hate Galaga. Stupid Galaga. Screw those little spaceships and the bigger ship they rode in on.
Ah, sounds like some serious ship.
It is. It's, it's some Xbox 360 graphics, so you can't really tell, but it seems like it's the same enemy ships over and over, with little difference as you progress from stage to stage. It's literally same shit, different level. Anyway, where was I?
Fug it?
Oh, yeah. No, man. No, I haven't even gotten to the update yet. Ah, yes, updating standings. Going through, sort through. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's see. Covered Fug and Wanda's husband. Let's see. Big L.
Yeah.
No. Big L is currently in third.
Oh.
With 21 pops. The old Roberto. Just ahead of Wakaki and Pill, who reached out to us this week in Discord saying we had motivated him to do better.
No, you. He reached out to you. He didn't say anything to me. He show noted me. Oh. It's like I don't even exist. Oh. I watch his show and everything.
Oh man, I'm sorry, buddy. That's bad. But if it makes you feel any better, it looks like he should be able to pass you at any moment, given the amount of low ratio pops on his list, that he has left compared to yours. You only have, let's see, what is it? Saints Bro?
Bro.
Or Broderlands 2?
Bro.
Bro? Oh, for two tiny little pops, but he has some easy Lego, Forza, Rise, and Monkey Island ones he could go to. Maybe. Now, this is just a little maybe. So just maybe he will just monkey around and not rise in the standings. So you won't have to Lego your third place. See what I did?
You forgot Forza.
And he will do it for you.
Oh, no, not the Forza you. Forza me, Mario. Well done, chap.
Speaking of Waka Key and Peele, he has his 4 map pieces complete achievement on Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge.
Oh boy, this sounds like the setup to a really bad joke.
Yep. So, speaking of that said achievement, do you know how chimpanzees open a banana?
Actually, I do. They don't open it up by waka peeling it from the stem. They waka peel it from the other end, and it opens much easier.
No, that is incorrect. They open their bananas using a monkey. In 5th place is Elroy. Love that guy. Who, rumor has it,
Has 3 nipples?
Oh, no, that was a good guess, though, but that is not the rumor. That's on the wall. You can slap it. But the rumor is that he is mailing it in this month since he knows he cannot get his full combo, since he cannot hold his ship together long enough to beat all 5 stages on Galaga. Thus, he is content to coast it out in the 5 spot rather than put any more time into trying to stay alive in Galaga with all those bugs everywhere trying to kill you.
Tough ship.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, the ship. Is it durable, or is it, like a one-hit kills you type of situation?
Yes. It's just one. Just one hit. Hate that game. Hate it. Oh, anyway, not a ton of movement on the big board this week, but your top 5 includes the honorable mention.
Ooh. Is it Proulx?
Nope. It's Kingsman, who popped a couple for a combined 337 points and thus subtracts 2 from his 902 pool size.
What a mockery he is, making fun of the RTDL. Oh my gosh. It would be a shame if RTDL bot were to pay him a visit.
Ooh. In 5th place, it's Nyet, whose single pop was a somewhat big one with a ratio of 3.45, worth 345 points, and comes from You're in the Movies for Sound Engineer.
He is that good. Maybe we can make him to make our audio not sound like crap.
Well, I said it's an achievement, not a miracle. Not a miracle. But in 4th place is Saucy Slingo.
Oh, shame go. A curating mess.
With 408 points.
Oh, he makes me sick, that masshole. What a curator.
Whoa. Oh, yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, in 3rd place is X Towers, who bests the slung sauce by a mere 1 point, thanks in part to his 2.75 ratio achievement in Shadow of Mordor of Burning Vengeance.
Elroy, you know that one does not simply walk into Mordor.
One can, however, simply trample Prue's improvement joke 14 weeks ago.
Yay!
And then the top 2 spots are the same, 2 battling it out for the number 3 spot. Big L and Waka Key and Peele.
Bring it, buddy. I will waka peel your face off and feed it back to you through your waka grill.
Whoa. That was a visual that I found not very waka peeling at all. What's the waka deal?
Sorry, it's just how I waka feel. I am competitive.
Ooh, so, yeah, In second, let's see.
I
second
will
was,
Waka kill him.
Well, it was Waka Pill. And he got 100. Whoa, no, that's 1,000. 1,084 from 3 pops. Bested only by first place, Big L, with his 1,304 points from 4 pops. Well done, man.
Thanks, man.
So that's that. Yep. Oh, dang, man. You know what? I should have done some kind of update. Oh, man.
Isn't that what you've been doing?
Oh, yes, I suppose. But I didn't make it official, though. But let's see. How can I fix this? And this has been your RTDL update, unannounced edition. See? I saved it. So, just scrub backwards and, listen to it. Like, play that first. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Wow. Elroy. You really ended our 20th episode with a fizzle.